Again, friends and fans, Raptor here, and welcome back to Gold Rush. We are in for a little bit of an adventure here today as we're going over to our Tier 3 mining site. You're going to see some really heavy equipment, and we've got some roads that are closed ahead of us, so this is going to be a real off-road adventure. In order to get over to the Pine Valley site, we're going to set up all of our Tier 3 wash plant equipment, our sluice boxes and everything, but first, we got to drive through the treacherous terrain of Alaska. Look at this! I've got these two trailers ridiculously overloaded, but, well, I'll be damned if I take two trips. So again, if you want to see more of this game, go ahead and hit that like button. This is likely going to be a multi-part episode because we've got a lot to do. Tier 3 takes a lot of time and a lot of money. So in the game, when you get about to probably over $500,000, somewhere around $600,000, that's when I would recommend that you start Tier 3. Keep in mind, you're going to need trailers and a lot of new equipment. You're going to need to hire workers. You're going to need to buy an excavator and a front load, big excavator to be specific, front loaders, and much more. So we'll get over that as soon as we get there, but for now, let's get into that first-person mode as we drive towards our destination. This game is really fun, and if you're enjoying it too, let me know down below in the comments section that you just say, Raptor, we can't get enough! And of course, let me know that you've got the game or you want the game, that kind of thing. Much more in terms of updates coming to this game as well, and we'll be building our Tier 3 mine in preparation for the delivery of the dump truck, which is coming to the game, as well as the drill and so much more. So we're going to get to the Pine Valley site here in just a little while. Oh boy, I forget the way. I think we take a left up here and climb the hill. Ooh, watch it now. A lot of trees seem to be down or close to being down around the road. Gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous game. A lot of people are saying they wish the world was a little bit more alive, and I couldn't agree more. I wish that the world seemed to have more living people in it. And we're going to just go to the exterior cam so I can make sure I didn't miss anything. So we'll go over every single thing that we will need here and the setup of everything and kind of an equipment checklist in just a little while. But we're going to at least first get to our site, and I'm going to show you around. And it's a very, very large site as well, which is great because if you're doing a lot of mining with heavy equipment, the last thing you want to do is be at a small site. And of course, the best thing to do is to use the front loader here as well to get some of the biggest scoops that you can. I think the Tier 3 site is best at Pine Valley, but that's my personal opinion. I would say stick away from 2 because at the very current moment, the front loader, which a lot of people have been putting me down over driving, has some issues with differential lock. I'm not sure if it's activated in the game, but it seems to be very, very next to impossible to get that front loader to move on certain terrain, such as the truck right here, how it's easily pulling all this equipment up the hill. The front loader would just not be able to do it. So many more updates to come, of course. I've given the game some real nice praise because I see a lot of good opportunity here to have a long time of fun, and of course many more updates that will make it more enjoyable. Right here is Camp Ripley, or Fort Ripley on our right side, which is interesting because it's called a fort, but it just seems to be kind of a group of residential homes defended by a drainage ditch. So if that's a fortress, I guess it is. Up here to our left, you'll see the final mine that we'll be able to go to, which is called like Nighthawk Valley, but we're not able to go up there yet. The tree is down there, and the only other way to get there is on the other side of the gas station where there's an overturned truck. So at this very moment, towards the end of October in 2017, this is just not yet activated. You see the game loading from time to time there too. No matter how good of a PC that you have, that will still happen in the game. It seems to only load when you get to certain sections. So some things are a little slow in loading, and I'm hoping the optimization improves. But anyway, I wanted to show you the nice drive here as it takes to get to Pine Valley. We're almost here now, so sit tight. And remember, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button so you can see more of this build. And keep in mind that this is our third episode. We built Tier 1 and Tier 2 stuff before we assembled everything. And now here at Pine Valley, welcome everyone to Pine Valley as we now assemble everything. We've got ourselves a little warehouse over here to our left where we'll unload all of our equipment. So that'll be a great area for us to park the truck and get started with our delivery of everything that we'll need here. We've got multiple lights for nighttime mining. We've got our wash table, and our tent is close to our warehouse as well, which makes everything a lot easier. But let's kill our engines, and let's take a little look around here. So, as you can see, all the way off in the distance, if you look, all of our equipment's over there waiting for us. So, you'll need money to transport this stuff here and to buy all the equipment. But before we switch to nighttime, or from daytime to nighttime, vice versa, we're going to take a look at the site here. So, you can see the trommel gets set up here. You can see that the duplex jig, and we'll go over what all this stuff is very soon, gets all set up down here. Now, sometimes when things get delivered, sometimes they're upside down, so I just just want to make sure all of our equipment, whoever does the deliveries, can be a little derpy sometimes. But it looks like everything has arrived safely and at least in the upright position, so that's good. Big O excavator there. That's going to be useful here. And by the way, the most important thing about this is you see the little hooks on the bottom there, the little hoops. Those are going to be used to connect chains. So we're going to have to actually move everything around here with that kind of equipment. Where's our bulldozer? There she is. And we're going to go to our fuel site here. Everything, I wish the developers made this area a little bit more flat, but what we're going to do here is order 10,000 gallons of fuel for $20,000. It'll be delivered at midnight, as you see there, and that's going to be used to fuel all of our heavy equipment, including our large tanker here. So what we're going to have to do is keep these two pretty close together for now, and then we'll have to set this mobile fuel tank somewhere in a kind of a common area to get started. So again, I know a lot of you are looking forward to me doing a realistic series on this, and to be completely honest, I think the viewers would get bored of me doing, part 17 of continuing to dig the same hole. In my opinion, the most exciting thing is actually assembling this equipment, and of course getting started with a little bit of mining, and of course you can kind of get how it works after that. Once you start digging a hole, you got it from there. So let's go ahead and get everything offloaded. We're going to work throughout the, I guess, the night here to get some things up and started. And I think we'll just kind of start by unloading. Actually, we'll put stuff into the warehouse, so we'll get all that started without delay. So we've got our large fuel tank there. Again, we have no extra fuel with us, but I'm going to offload everything here. And I saw my friend FTG likes to put his wash table or wave table inside the tent, and I couldn't agree with him more, though I must say I hate the hitboxes in this game. We can't walk through that little area here. We have to walk over here, which is a little bit obnoxious. But the nice thing about this area is it's always lit up, so you can always walk in there and set everything up. Hopefully I can get in here. Oh, am I not permitted? Have I not said the secret password? There we go. So yeah, everything is good to go in here. We also get a free wash pan and a basin and all the stuff you need for panning. So it's a good start over there. We'll move this machine somewhere over here, and we'll get that started a little bit later. So the wave table. This is where our gold will be automatically sifted through once we've gathered it from the Tier 3 mining site. Oh boy, we better press L. If you press comma, or if you press the period key, you can bring up your flashlight too, so you can see all around. So in interest of keeping things bright and cheery, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward in time to day 2, just so we can have a little bit more light so some of you can actually see. All right, here we go. Let's head over to, there we go, and we'll switch to dawn. Perfect. So the beginning of day 2, we're going to start with putting some of our heavy equipment into place, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to offload the truck and just show you everything that we need to do. And what I'll do is I'll set everything here, and off video I will go ahead and organize these into shelves, but I'm just going to show you exactly what you'll need for everything. So just try to keep a mental note, and again, remember later you will see everything being set up as well. I'm buying 3 fat extension cords here. 2 of them might be needed to go the length to supply the trommel and also the shaker with power, so those will be needed for that. We have a filter here as well, which will go on the end of 2. I plan to have 2 pumps here. One pump to supply the one water pump to supply the shaker, and another water pump to supply the wave table inside the tent that we just placed down there moments ago. Working lights are great for nighttime. They're super bright as well, so don't underestimate their glorious power. We'll go ahead and drop this one down here. If this one doesn't have a filter on it, we'll go ahead and equip that too. Another great way to transport these hoses is to put those filters on them, but they can also be attached daisy chained from one hose to another. You'll also need these. These are going to be extremely important. These are like the 4-meter cables, and these are really good for transporting a massive majority of what you need. Here are our buckets as well, and by transport I mean that large equipment that you saw out there. That's how we're going to transport it with the excavator. Buckets are a necessity as well, absolutely required to do any level of gold mining, so you might have some extras left over. So again, as I'd mentioned, you might need to leave with about $500,000 or more in the bank, and of course you might have some workers working for you as well. And the nice thing about that is that when you do that, you'll be able to continue to make gold from them and then sell your gold whenever you need. So we're getting a few extra these yellow extension cords. These are for the working lights here, and also one is going to be for our wave table as well. We'll need to supply that with the electricity, and I've got an extra backup generator to a small one just to set up near the tent. Boy, Raptor's getting real rude with that bucket. So this takes a lot of time, but this I think is the most enjoyable part of the game. So first we're just going to kind of unload the truck to go over this stuff again, and then I will start transporting some of the larger equipment into place. This will probably take the longest, but it is good to go over everything and just unload the trailer to show you what we have here. This is an extension for the yellow power cords as well, so if you need to get a little extra length out of them, you can do that. And I need to quit being so clumsy with those buckets. Careful there, Dino Man. Let's make sure we don't step over stuff. It can be a little hard, though, when you're trying to get everything organized. And our third power cord here for the wavetable. So 2 for the lights, 1 for the wavetable. This is my personal setup. I'm sure there's more efficient ways to do it, and, of course, cooler ways, too. I think if you add a lot of equipment, it just looks more enjoyable. That hose there, that green hose, is for the wavetable, and this red hose here is for the water. That will, both of these ones with the filters will come out of the lake to supply our water pumps with the water that they need. Hence the name water pump, spoiler alert. And I think you'll probably be fine with maybe 4 buckets. You really only need like 2, but I think extra is probably good. You can always go overboard with the buckets. They're only like $10 each. So, all right, next thing we're going to grab is our extension cord for the blue. Our little, well, I say extension cord, but you know what I mean here, the extension extender, I guess, in order to make those a little bit longer. And I also buy a few extra cables, and the reason I do that is because it is possible to break them, too. Looks like we have some of our filters here. Maybe some of them have fallen out. Yes, they did. You see them there by the hitch. These filters here, these miners' mats are very important. This is where our gold will go for our sluice boxes. So I'm going to try to put these somewhere a little bit more important. These are small, they get easily lost, and I just want to make sure I don't actually throw them out there. All right, there we go. See, I'm running over stuff. Getting excited to start up our mine. So we've got 5 of these is what you'll need in order to fully fill those boxes, those sluice boxes, and you'll have a area for tailings. You cannot at this current moment do 2 duplex jigs, which are kind of what filter your material a little bit more. This here, I believe, is a 6-meter cable as well. So this one's indicated by being brown. The other one's yellow, and the longest one in the game, 7 meters, is a red color. We'll put one of these lights in here since we'll use it a little bit later. There we go. We have a nice opening here. One of the best things to do, I think, is to organize your little warehouse, and this tier 3 one is probably this one is my favorite. This one just seems to have the most flat territory to get everything organized. These will be great, too, by the way, for fuel. Those are probably best, those little jerry cans for fueling up the smallest generators and water pumps. Another thing you can buy, too, is a medium fuel tanker, but as you saw, I can only bring 1 trailer at a time. So we have 3 mats set up, and there's our other water pump. And we can get all this stuff set out into the map, but I will do that a little bit later. You guys understand exactly that a water pump needs to go over next to a water source in order to be useful, that kind of thing. Hopefully we have all of our chains, too. I see at least we have 4, so that's good. If I lost any, that's okay. We'll just have to be extra careful. I buy 6, though, just to be extra careful. You only really need the longer one, I think, for the trommel. That one's a little long, so that one can take up a little bit more space of your chains or your... well, in this game it calls it ropes, but technically they're cables, but also chains. You understand, though, what it means, though. All right, the next thing is the grill, and I'm not talking about barbecue. Don't get excited there, Aussies. And by the way, where are you watching from today? Some of you have watched up to this point all the other videos. Let me know where you're from. Raptor's from Minneapolis, Minnesota. So hello to all of you. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. There's our 4, I believe, the 6-meter length ones, and this is our last, or one of our last 4-meter cables. Interesting. We're in America, but we're using meters, huh? That's all good. Okay, we got our hose here. This hose will go towards the shaker, and this will be an extension to the other large pump, and we'll just kind of set all this stuff out so you can kind of see how everything goes. I'm very excited to get started with the mining, but again, this does show that there's a lot to this process. You can't, a lot of people will just say, oh my god, you're 3 videos in and you're not even, well, you got to set up. You don't just pull up to the mine and just start digging and get rich. You got to buy a lot of equipment. There's a lot of setup to this, and that's what makes this game fun too. If you just pulled up with a bulldozer and an excavator and just started making money, there'd be no fun to that. You got to do some good old-fashioned work, and it's really nice to organize things too. So there's 2 of our cables, and we're going to grab the rest of those, and that should be pretty much everything out of the truck unless something fell underneath. We have all of our extensions, and again, I'll organize this a little bit later, so for those of you who are a little OCD like myself, we'll get that taken care of a little bit later. Oh, there's our miner's grills, too, on the side of the truck. We'll get those out as well. I forgot about those. All right, so one of the things we're going to do is take those miner grills, or whatever the exact terminology is. We'll set that outside, I think. We're starting to run out of space here, geez. And one of the things we're going to have to do is bring the, we're going to have to bring those cables over, too, aren't we, to get everything... hooked up to the bulldozer, or to to the excavator, which is going to be useful. The excavator is absolutely necessary in order to move our equipment around. I'll set these grills outside. These can be a little hard to see, so make sure you put these on a shelf or remember exactly where you put them. In this case, I'll remember that I put them here. So that is it. That is all the equipment that I brought for now. I would also recommend a medium fuel tank if you can afford it, just to make getting fueling up equipment and such a little bit easier. But that can be arranged at a little different time, I guess. All right, we're going to pull over here to a flat space to park our truck. And we'll kill the lights, too. I guess we left them on over the night. Oh, boy. All right, everything's good to go. So we've unloaded all of our equipment. Now it is time to fuel up our big excavator. And we'll get those cables over here, too. In fact, I could probably drive those with the truck, couldn't I? We'll have to not forget our extra things here. Yeah, you have all sorts of things flying around all the time. Oh, and I saw an extra cable there, too. Yep, that's what's good about moving the truck. Things will always fall under your truck, so if you lost something, check your trucks, everybody. Check under your trucks. All right, we're going to have to grab 4 of these to start with. 4 of these cables, and I'll see if I can bring these over to the truck. We'll ditch the trailer where it is, and we'll take one trip over to the site, so that way we can work a little bit more efficiently. One thing would be nice is if you could have an inventory to carry a few items at a time, if they were small enough. You know, jerry cans, cables, something like that. Extension cords would be nice. You have 2 hands in real life, so it would make sense. All right, our trailer's going to stay there. The truck's coming with. We're going over to that big excavator to get it fueled up, and then, of course, to also get the cables connected so we can start moving our equipment into place. Yes, the Tier 3 mine is here, folks. We've got it. We're almost set up. It's going to be a while, but we're almost there. Almost there. TM, Raptor, TM. Okay, we're going to load these 4 cables, and so after this, I'm switching to satellite after this. I'm tired of all this cable. You know what I mean? Comcast haters out there like me? Yeah, you know. Comcast, $3 million for nothing. All right, 2 of them are in there. 3 of them are in there, and I see the other ones in front of the passenger front tire. Look at that. Passenger side tire, we got you. All right, so that's all 4 cables. So we're going to hook that under the bucket, and we're going to start moving our first piece of equipment into place. I think the first and best piece of equipment to start with is moving the duplex jig, and that goes at the very end of the process, so it's a very good piece of equipment to get in order. Now, I'm sure there's a technical order you should do these in, and probably a way better order than I thought of, but you know, we'll get to that when we get to that, I suppose. All right, we'll park the pickup over here underneath the, well, I think we can back this in here. We see the, oh, good, look at that. The duplex jig is directly next to the excavator as well, so that'll make things a lot easier. All right, we'll back her in here and get the bucket all lined up. So we're going to drop the tailgate, get some of our cables out on the ground, and then we'll start hooking this bad boy up. So this right here is where I would love to have multiplayer set up. Imagine one of your friends working the bulldozer or working the excavator, and then you are working the boom. Looks like, did we lose a cable? Uh-oh, I'm sure you were yelling at me as I was leaving. Don't leave, Raptor, you lost one? Okay, well, we'll go find it a little bit later. There's always, those cables always let loose. In fact, I bet there's one under the truck. Is that it right there? See, always look under the truck. There she is. All right, perfect. So let's grab the excavator, fire that up. We're going to raise the boom, and here is our mining site. By the way, if you didn't notice already, let me show you something beautiful. Oh dear. I want to see everybody timestamp this one with oh dear if you know what I'm about to show you. I'm not going to say anything, but for those of you still watching, timestamp the exact point where you know what I'm talking about. Oh dear. Oh yes. You see, don't you? Okay. I know, it's almost season, boys. Almost season. Just hold on. All right. So we're going to get that bucket up in the air. We're going to get the 4 cables connected to that. We're going to move the duplex jig to the very bottom of the site, and I'll show it all to you very soon. Let's go ahead and get this bad boy fired up. Yeah. Such power. Get that arm up in the air. There we go. And let's make sure we've got everything. Let's see here. Let's. Oh, wait. Oh, I just want to swing it out a little bit more. There we go. And that should be perfect right there. Okay, we'll keep it running, and we'll hop out. And we're going to connect the 4 cables here. So you can just leave them on the ground too, by the way. You don't have to actually connect them to the piece of equipment yet. If you'd like to, that might make it a little bit more efficient, but I just kind of want to show how it works. So you basically point at the yellow part, hit use, and then just hit it again somewhere else. And you can wrap these cables up too if you need to. If you take them off, for example, if you're done with them and want to put them away, you can grab them just like that and they come right off. Okay, 4 cables connected. Boom, ready to go. We better get the truck out of here. We're going to have to move that thing now. And we'll go park next to the shaker. We'll move her next to the shaker. I'm a mover and shaker, everybody. All right, very good. All done. Job's done. Next, Look at this. If you look at the guy in the truck, by the way, if you notice him in the cab, he will have a orange vest on. And it almost looks more like a camping vest, or not a camping, a hunting vest than it does like a construction vest. Okay, let's go ahead and get the excavator into position. I always forget to release the parking brake on that one. But you see how long these cables are to begin with. One thing that I struggled with at the start, that a lot of people were like all rude with, like, geez guys, give me a break, this is my first time. I'm still a noob, by the way, but was the cables. I didn't know exactly how long some of these lengths would be, but right about there is about the minimum length that you want. And you want to bring your boom down a bit too, because you will need to stretch these out just a tad. So the best thing to do is lift it up this way. So we should have a real winner here. We'll cut the bulldozer off or the excavator while we're connecting everything. Sometimes the cables can fall through. So what you want to do is look exactly where the bucket is. For example, this one's going to have to go in the front. And this next one here is going to have to go in the back on this side. If we can actually grab this one through here. There we go. And you don't want to get these crisscrossed unless you want to swing it into a different position. Now, one thing I've noticed, too, is that this has to be the back end of this piece of equipment. So what we'll do is we'll drive up above, I think. And let me see if I can do that from here. I don't think we'll be able to lower it from there. So that actually might be something where we'll need to flip it around. So I wonder if we do it backwards, it should go. But some people are saying you don't have to flip it around. I've always had to flip it around, so we'll see exactly what happens. So that little notch that comes out on the side we saw before, this side here should be the very back of it, where all the extra water and such falls out of. Okay, the extra cables here. Sometimes you got to jump to see them, and then you can kind of catch them through the edge of the machine. And keep in mind, the edges of your cables will make the machine shift too. So if you need to flip something over, just draping your cables over them and backing up will do. All right, hold on. There we go. Got it. I know it makes you a little dizzy sometimes. We'll get this thing sorted out. We'll get it straightened out. No problems here. Let's get everything organized and ready to go. There we go. And we will raise you up just like the good Lord. There we go. Perfect. And there she is off the ground. So now, very carefully and gently, we will try to move this piece of equipment into position. And you can see the game has already highlighted it for us. And one of the best things to do here, and I think we could probably back it up, but you probably want to drive forward. Actually, we would have a spotter here. It's a little bit more safe to back maybe into this area before we swing it around, especially with all that equipment around. The last thing we want to do is put a ding in the power plant or a ding in the large fuel tank. All right, perfect. Now we'll come down here. Now you see that little notch coming out at the bottom. All right, let's swing over this way. We'll try to do everything one at a time here. I'm really tempted to run over to the fuel tank and connect it to the power plant. So we can actually go up over the top maybe on this side. You see where we could possibly lower it down? I think we're going to actually go for that. So now that I'm kind of swung around here, let's go ahead and pick up our jig a little bit more. So we'll go into our digging controls. Looks like we're maxed out. You can also raise the bucket if you need to. That'll get you a little extra clearance. So if you need a little extra space, that will work. So always trial and error here. There's always a better way. So just always be on the lookout for it. Now, it would probably be best for me to drive it in directly, but we're just going to lower this boy up over the side where the trommel is. So we're going to go up and around. So I'll show off where everything will go. So where that's highlighted right now is where the duplex jig goes. There has to be a sluice, kind of a funnel that goes on top of that. Looks like a little ramp. And to the left of it has to go a tailings ramp. On top of that, where you see kind of the purple metal-looking area where it looks like a long strip, that's where the trommel will have to go. And driving just to our left right now as we're driving by it is where the large shaker will go, kind of near that wooden platform. Behind that is where a boulder's off-run kind of sluice box will go. And then there's a few other boxes that will go to filter out big boulders, smaller rocks. And then, of course, we'll also have to put our power plant up here as well to power the whole thing. So, again, I might be driving a little too fast, but we should be okay here. I really want this game to be playable with a joystick, so if it's not, boy, I hope they make it soon. Okay, let's lower this thing down into position. We're going to lower our bucket a bit, and we're going to lower our arm. And we would probably want to have a guy down there giving us a little bit of guidance, but we can kind of see it. There you go. She snaps right into place. So you don't really have to be that close, and I wish you kind of did, because some points I really want to get more accurate with it. But that's one delivery done, and we can drive up over the side or go down the slope. And I think in interest of time, I'll take the more dangerous route. But traditionally, you'd probably want to go up that way. Maybe not even up there. Look at how kind of dangerous that ridge is. But we'll go this way as kind of a shortcut. But I'd prefer to go up over around the other way. So the next thing we're going to grab is we could also grab the shaker itself. And one thing you probably want to do is maybe the next good thing would be to put the trommel down. but I think one of those extra sluice boxes, and I'm not familiar with exactly what each one of them is, but they are all different. Those two actually look the same, but I think one is for the tailings and the other is not. And this one right here will actually go into the duplex jig box. And let's go ahead and jump out here. So one thing you need to be super aware of too is that one side is marked in and one side is marked out. So keep that in mind. There is a front and a back to certain things. This one here with the clips in it, this one will go into the duplex jig, and this one without the clips is the sluice, kind of the exit pipe for all the other stuff called the tailings. So we'll grab this one here and put it up above, and then we'll grab this next one here and put it up above. So that'll go just above the orange thing, and then next will come the trommel, which is the large rotating cylinder over there. So we'll grab all that stuff together. A lot of you know this, I know. So just bear with me as we show all the newbies, especially myself, how it all works. All right, I need to turn this on. We're going to plug this in here, and we're going to get this thing. Actually, Raptor, you shouldn't move this until it's, yeah, you know what? I'm trying to be interested in doing it right. It would be a lot lighter if we didn't fill it full of 1,000 gallons of fuel. So let's not do that until she's moved into position. Let's do that. We'll do that last. I forgot we had our excavator fired up here. All right, let's grab our first box, and we will lower down. Remember, you want to give yourself a little bit of slack. Ooh, and you can see it's all right. We haven't connected it yet, and she's already she's getting a little feisty there. All right, good. We'll hop out of the excavator, and we'll hop down here to hook up to all 4 points. And remember, you can break your cables, so you do need to be a little cautious sometimes. Make sure you give yourself plenty of room to do a lot of this stuff. All right, there's our next connector right there. Our next hook is connected. Hook number 4 and 3 are over here. This will be our front hook on this side where it says out. And over here will be our other one. Now, you do need to think about this as you're doing it, so let's think for a quick second. This is the duplex jig, so we'll just have to come in right about there where my cursor is, and then we'll drop that thing up right on top of the duplex box. You'll see what I mean here in just a second, and we'll try to jump up here. We'll just... Here, I'm a tall guy. There we go. All right, we're going to swing this around. As soon as we get her lifted up off the ground, there we go. Very nice. And this chain here is probably what you're going to want to use the most. This cable is definitely what you'll want to use most for efficiency. This thing swings a lot, very fast, very quick on that swing. So give her some time to level out there. It's not too long of a drive to this position, but what we will do is we'll back up here, and we should be pretty good to go here. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to back her up this way. In fact, we probably should swing around. Excavator operators, you can go ahead and tell me all the terminology and all the things that we should do. Obviously, me backing up there, lowering. You want to drive with it in front, obviously, because you don't want to have it touch the ground like I just did. So that's probably one good thing to keep in mind. And we're going to drive up over the top like we did with the other piece of equipment. Maybe you do want to drive in reverse. I'm not sure. But as you can see here, we're clearing the dirt. Now, the excavator has a lot of good power, but also has trouble on some steep spots, so you'll need to watch it. And remember, our arch nemesis in the game is that front loader. The front loader just doesn't have the oomph that I wish she did. Hopefully, the good devs bless it very soon with the power of horsepowers. We'll see. Okay, so we're making her up this hill. Not too bad. And a lot easier going up here. This is actually not that steep. This is pretty good ground here if you're driving around, which makes it very nice for the front loader to drive up here too, since it's having difficulty at the current moment. And we'll just drop this one up from above. I want to go down below, like I said, but I kind of want to get these in the correct direction too. So, but if you find a better way, make sure you do it. All right, so we're coming up now on the second delivery, and we're just going to lower this one just straight down into that, just right on top of the jig there. And it should slap into position in a quick second. There we go. Second one is in place. And again, you can do these in pretty much any order that you'd like. Some ways are just better than others. Alright, the next thing we're going to grab is that tailings one. And I'm going to try to do that so I can deliver that without having to go up here. So I'm going to make sure I come up from behind on that one. Ooh, are we bumping something? Oh no, I'm just turning. For a second, I thought I hit something. I was going to be concerned. Alright, so the, let's see, I think the next longest one, this long one here just next to my boom that we're about to pass first on the right side, I believe that one comes from the, down from the shaker to the trommel. So I believe that's one right there for that. And then the two furthest away are for the large rocks and boulders. So let's try to come over this way. And we'll pick up this one from behind. So this, by the way, setting this up, you need a lot of extra cash because you're going to burn through money like crazy because you're going to have to take a few days, almost vacation from working just to get this stuff set up. So if you want to do Tier 3, you will need to definitely spend a lot of your time, money, and possibly loan. Oh, apparently we're hitting an invisible wall here. Oh, we are. I didn't hit the tree. But yes, you'll need to spend a lot of time to get this all set up properly. Well, with that wall being in the way, we might need to push this box a little bit. Let's see if we can hook it up this way. See if we can swing it a little bit. We do have a little room behind us, so let's go ahead and lower our boom here and drive over this way, or move our boom this way so we don't have to drive over there. Okay, we might have this, so let's kill our well, we'll leave the bulldozer or the excavator on. I love the bulldozer too. That's probably my other favorite piece of equipment. So we should have this all once we pick this up, it should straighten out and swing our way. So let's see here. Good. And we're looking for this one to go on the other side over here. And the final one will have to go in the back. So this will be a multi-part setup. It's definitely going to take us a lot of time to do this. I'm calling it now that we're going to have to make multiple episodes out of this, but maybe not. Maybe I'm going fast enough. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully not. Okay, so now that we got this all organized, we're going to go ahead and pick up the... there we go. We're going to pick up the sluice box here. And it should... Ooh, I picked it up from the side. Oh, that might not be bad either. Let's see. Oh, perfect. We can actually drive next to it. Just like I wanted. Very good. So this actually couldn't have worked out better, except for my driving. Oh, pick it up there, Raptor man. There we go. All right. Sorry about that. I'm not so used to driving an excavator. It's a passion of mine, though. I definitely want to drive one, that's for sure. And, of course, you wouldn't want to drive into or over objects. Oh, boy. Raptor, what are you doing there, guy? Sorry. Some of the hitboxes are a little big on some of these things, especially on the corners of the map, I've noticed. But it's all good. We'll get her set up here. And the most important thing, I think, is just delivering the pieces. You won't be penalized for bumping into anything, which is good. Because if bumping was bad, boy, would I be banned. And we can't pick up our... we can pick up our bucket a little bit more. There we go. Oh, Raptor with the hacks. Check that out. Very nice. So we'll swing this down now. And see if we can actually... I should be set up a little better. I think I should be a little closer to this sluice box. But again, the goal here is to get it into the position. Oh boy. Oh, and you see... Oh, this is perfect. I'm glad this happened. One of our cables snapped, so that's very good. You can see they call it a rope for whatever reason. But yes, you need to be careful with this too, by the way. Whipping it like that can really cause some damage. So that's a good example for some of the damages that can be caused here. And it looks like we lost yet another rope. Sometimes the game can be a little picky too about how it accepts and how it doesn't accept your boxes. So when you think it's going to be easy, well, it might not. So let's pull it over this way. There we go. And actually, what we can do is, this might be a blessing in disguise. We can go ahead and just hop out. And again, that's why I brought 2 extra cables, because it does happen. We should be able to lift it up this way and raise it up into that position. I wasn't anticipating the sand being so painful. That's all good. This is good, though. This is exactly what happens on the show as well. So if you're familiar with the show, you'll know that gold mining doesn't happen like a drive-through at a McDonald's. You just don't pull up and ask to get rich. You actually have to do a little bit of that work. All right, let's drive forward. It should snap into place then. Or the cable will snap, one of the two. And of course, it would be a lot easier to have people kind of guiding and gently nudging things into position. But there we go. We got yet another box into position. So we're going to go grab some more cables here. Watch it there, Dino Man. We got swinging particles here. Okay, so we're going to grab 2 more cables. In fact, wait a minute. Maybe we should set up that trommel, which might take a little longer cable. So let's do this. We're going to go ahead and lower the bucket so we can connect everything. And then we're going to go grab some extra cables. And we'll grab that trommel next. So that way we can put the sluice box into the trommel as well. I think it's a little better if we put the trommel first, then the other sluice box kind of slides into it or next to it. Okay, we're good there. We'll grab these 2. These will sit up here then for the next second or 2. That's really cool. So the fact that they put ropes breaking in the game is cool, because now that reminds me to mention that there will eventually be vehicle maintenance. A lot of you have been mentioning that my oil pressure is at 0 and such in the game, and that's kind of intentional, because the game eventually will make you change your oil pressure, tracks, batteries, all sorts of different maintenance that will have to happen to these vehicles as well. So there's a lot of different things that can go wrong. such as your tooth breaking on an excavator, and a lot of things that can, you know, just you can goof up too. For example, my ability to use these cables and such. We'll grab these 4 quickly. We'll come back and grab a few extra ones, but there's always back and forth to your warehouse. So make sure you always got that loaded with extra, just in case you lose something, and especially with those cables, just in case you break something. So our next goal is then to get to that trommel into position. 2 extra cables there for us. Good thing we brought extra. And it looks like I only have 1 extra one of that other longer one. We'll only be using this one once, so there's less of a chance of it breaking. So there's 2 there. 3 longer ones there of the 6 meter, I believe. So I believe it goes 4, 6, and 7 meter, I think. I could be mistaken. I forget. You'll have to look at the shop. I may be calling it wrong. But basically, they're small, medium, and large. Think of them that way. All right, we'll grab these 3 cables here. We'll come back for the 2 shorter ones that we need in just a moment. And you probably don't want to drive the excavator without these things being hooked up like that. But again, it's just a game, so not every single thing is incorporated into the game. But this one does a great job of simulating this kind of stuff, and I really would like this game to now be... I really hope maybe Discovery Channel will come out with a more accurate construction show or something like that. It'd be cool to do a construction game. That would be awesome. All right, we're good to go here. Let's go ahead and raise our bucket up. There we go. Just off the ground. And again, yes, my driving on that one was was very poor. I should have did little bit more work on that one, both bumping into that sluice box and also kind of snapping the cables. But it was good to show that that does happen. I'm very happy that happened. We can talk about that and showcase it. There's our other sluice box. You know, actually, I think the trommel and maybe this sluice box would be best to grab the... nah, shorter the better. Especially for the shaker, too. That thing sits so low to the ground, it's crazy. You can even pick up the truck if you want to. If your truck ever gets caught, you can always hook that up that way, too. All right, let me think. This thing here... The trommel, we're going to have to grab this from the side that's closer to the large mining area. So we're going to back this one up here to where we first originally had our truck parked. And we're going to hook this up next. So who is all for assembling this equipment? It does take some time, and a lot of people get frustrated because, you know, you're not immediately mining, but that is part of the mining process. You don't just pull up to a mine that's already built. You got to build it yourself. You got to find the gold. You got to go to the gold. The gold doesn't come to you. That's how it all works. Be very careful lowering your cables, too, and driving around. You can tip this over, so just keep that in mind, too. Another lesson learned by myself through practice and trial and error, which is a lot of how it seems to work, too. Okay, this one's going to go on the further side over here. And you can see our cable, I think, is already too short for the trommel. Any longer than this, though, and it becomes a little bit troublesome. So let's go ahead and start with the ones that are closer here. We'll connect a few, and then we'll move our boom. So let's see if we can find one of those cables. Looks like there's one. I can see the end of one right over here. It's a little bit of a hide and seek. We'll go over to this side and see if we can... Actually, you might be able to... Oh, yeah, they're all over here. Perfect. We'll just grab them this way. So the ones on this side should be pretty easy to connect to. And then we'll get this moved around here. Cool how the trommel kind of rolls. There we go. 2 on this side, and then we'll lower the boom, and we'll get the 2 on the other side. It's best to kind of keep your boom a little up in the air so your cables don't fall too far. Oops, don't want to... Whoa, 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 whoa. Careful now. I want to be in digging mode, but I want to give our... There we go. I want to give our cables a little extra slack on this side. Alright, let's see. This one's good to go. And this other one should be good to go as well. We just need to find her. There she is. Perfect. All cables are accounted for, and all cables are connected. Very nice. So you can see here that we have to... let's see. Oh, this is... No cut. Oh, I see. There was somebody labeling for the welder, I think. Whoever made this thing. Alright. So we're picking up our trommel now. The only thing this needs, too, is power. The only thing this needs is electricity. So I hope I have this set up correctly. My idea is that we'll have to drop this on... well, I'll have to get closer. I think the electronic portion will require us to drive into the mine and then lift it up. I don't think we'll come up from behind it, but I could be wrong. I'll have to see it. Yes, we will have to drive down into the pit and then lift this up on top. So I'm assuming other excavators would probably drive around and have had it set up differently, but I'm just trying to make a shorter trip, which will end up being a bad idea. But let's see. Okay, we've got it raised up as high as we can. And I believe this is the correct way, yes. And we got it right in there. Nice. Very good. Another piece of equipment offloaded into place, and we've got this one over here. This is the other sluice box that will come out just below the shaker. So we're going to grab this one next. Ooh, that was awfully close. I was thinking the hitbox was going to get us dragged over. Some hitboxes on things are just super extra big. Like, we're talking like big-o big, like tier 10 big, you know what I mean? All right, we're going to grab this next thing here, which is the, I forget the exact technical term of everything in the game. It's like called the ST, and there's like the DJ. I don't know exactly what they mean, but if somebody wants to do a write-up too, is watching, and just remind everyone of what each little thing is, feel more than welcome. Now these cables here might be a little too long. This one might drag on a little too far because we're supposed to really use those other ones, but I want to try to get this done before we switch cables. Before we switch to the dish, huh? Okay, let's get these ones connected. Oh, looks like oh yes, your rope is too short. That can happen too. You can't really fight it, so you'll need to make sure you do have long enough cables here. Which just means you'll have to lower your bucket or get a little closer if you're using the 4 meter. Oh, and this one's too far too. Okay, wow. Let's get a little closer, then we'll lower the bucket. Better than kicking the bucket. We'll all do that someday, I suppose. Getting a little dark. Okay, let's go ahead and raise our bucket up and get a little closer. We'll lower the boom there. There we go. Now this one, when we pick it up, will have to be picked up a little higher. As you've seen before, as we go down into the pit, we do kind of lower our boom. So we want to kind of make sure that we're a little higher off the ground if we can help it. Alright, this will be all 4 clips onto this machine, starting right about, boy, where is, uh-oh. Now we're on a little bit of scavenger hunt. Oh, you know what? If I walk, I can push this, can't I? No? Oh, but there's the cable. Perfect. We got it, and we're good. Alright, all 4 are connected. That means we're going back into the excavator, and it's becoming nighttime. So let's get those lights on, too, so we can see. Oops, accidentally cut the engine there, Dino Man. Alright, perfect. Let's raise our boom. And it goes right there next to the trommel. So let's start moving down there. Oop, parking brake. And here we go. So again, when that fuel tank arrives, make sure that you order it before you go to dawn the next day. If you need fuel, it is only delivered to that piece of equipment at night. So you have to wait till midnight in order for that one to come to your site. Boy, this one's going to be a little icy, I think. Let's drive up here, and we'll swing to our left, and we'll lower it down that way. So again, in and out does matter, so make sure you're looking at those markers there, the chalk or the soap or whatever they're using to write on there. So as we get a little bit into nighttime, you can see, first of all, that it has taken us nearly an entire day to set this up, and that the music changes as well to get a little bit more ominous for the nighttime that's about to approach. If you get off a little bit like this, you see how we're not very close to it. You can get close, and it will lock into place, which is nice because you want to spend a little time assembling this, but not all the time in the world. Nobody has an entire weekend to dedicate to assembling their mining equipment. Uh-oh, careful there, Raptor. Come on, take it, boy. There we go. Nice. She's got it. Very good. All right, so that's another piece of equipment into place. Let's go ahead and roll up here. We're going to grab those other cables now, and I think that's it for our longer cables. The other 2 to do are just connected to the shaker, and also it's easier to move both the fuel tank and the large power plant with the shorter cables because those boxes hang down very low, and you need to make sure you have maximum clearance underneath. So let's grab these extra cables here. We'll park right about here. All right, we're going into some nighttime work. So we'll see what we can get done here. Really cool to see this thing set up. It's really one of my favorite things to do and show off in the game. I really like it. And I want there to be more of this kind of stuff. I want there to be more setup. That, I think, is the ultimate. We'll set these down here. We're not going to be driving down there very much, so that'll be our temporary storage area for these cables. We'll come back to them. I'll pick them up another time. But again, that's what multiplayer would be nice for. If you ask somebody, hey, Steve, I'm coming over to the warehouse. You want to grab those 4-meter cables? I'm going to switch them out for the ones we have. Somebody can be ready and waiting to attach them, and then they can go off to do something else once they've helped you out. We got 2 cables here, and 2 more cables that we'll have to grab out of the warehouse as well. So you can see there the trommel that I just walked past. You can see the giant chain that rolls this thing around, giant motor there, and the plug-in for it, that blue plug-in there. So we're going to have to get our power plant close when the time comes, so keep that in mind. Alright, halfway done there. Guess we'll hit our headlamp on. And we will grab the 2 extra cables we have right here. Luckily we have 2, huh? Lucky dinosaur man. Okay. Attached, and we'll do our last one. And we'll roll over and grab the shaker next. We'll go for the shaker, and we'll get that started. And we'll probably buy a medium fuel tank over the next period as well. So we got everything attached here to grab some more equipment. And we're now getting into our excavator. Very good. Oop. Fire up. There we go. Very nice. So, this has got to be my favorite thing. I really like this a lot. I just think this is the coolest thing to do, is to drive around this heavy equipment. It's really going to get dark now. Now, keep in mind, that shaker is going to have to go right over there. So we'll grab that next. And we can also grab the power plant. So the next couple of things we need to grab are the shaker, and we need to grab the 2 sluice boxes, and we need to grab the fuel tank. Then we need to grab the power plant. So there's still about 5 things left to do here. Lots to do here as we continue to make our advance towards building this thing. Very cool. Nighttime driving, isn't it? Really impressive. Very good. Wow. So the duplex jig, the trommel, and the shaker all take power. The shaker requires water, and the wavetable requires water. Keep those in mind. And you're going to need the big fuel tank for that mobile power plant. There's no question about it. No question whatsoever. So this thing seems to be facing away from us, and I think this will allow us to approach on the same side we've been driving on. Let me think for a quick second. We got the truck in the way, so we'll just detach over here and come up whatever way's probable. And the nice thing too is that since we're an excavator, we can approach from any angle. You know, we got tracks, so we can do 360 turns pretty easily. Alright. So there's a few hoops over the top of the shaker as well. And you got to be real lucky to find these. And you got to be very close to this equipment too. Nice. Look at that thing all lit up at night. That looks really cool, doesn't it? All right. Well, now here's the thing that's not cool is finding those clips. Sometimes you have to look in the machine, and sometimes you can get real close to them. So it will let you walk inside the machine a little bit to see them, but just try to see if you can look at your bucket and then see where they landed in the machine. A lot of looking. A lot of peeking. See if I can jump in there. Nope. Okay. We'll have to grab them through here. There we go. Okay, so this one's going on this side. So we can hook up both on top, and there's also hookups on the bottom, too. So if you have extra long chains, you can grab them that way. Let's see if we can grab another chain here. There we go, another cable. And again, you can see that we can hook it up at the bottom if we want to. Also, the springs on this machine can break. And that's another thing that might need to be repaired in the future. At the moment, I haven't had anything break down. So just keep that in mind that breakdowns do happen, but aren't frequent or are not yet implemented. So if you don't want any breakdowns, don't worry, they won't happen yet. Unlike me emotionally, that'll happen all the time. All right, what are we looking for here? We're looking for the other cables. They seem to be inside the machine. Sometimes you gotta, maybe you can swing the. Looks like I actually got in here for once, but sometimes you'll just have to swing the machine around. And another thing that's easy is throwing them outside too. You can just throw them on the outside of the machine. There we go, and then grab them. Oh boy, these ones went into the motor. Where'd our cables go there, buds? Oh, maybe they fell to the outside. Can we see them through the hole? Oh boy. Let's turn on our flashlight. Alright, let's see if we can make a jump for it again. It's not going to let us. We should be able to see it through the wall if we look close enough. If you scan, sometimes you can be able to find them. It doesn't happen often, but it can work this way. But this is pretty much the only piece of machinery where you get a little hung up on grabbing your cables. Let's see if we can clip through the wall and see them. Trying to look through the edges of the wall. Let's see. I see them right there. You see the 2 cables swinging out that way. So they're just above this little piece of, Oh, there they are. Oh, now they magically appeared. Maybe they were there before and I didn't see them. Alright, so this one's going to have to extend. Stay with us. Stay with us. There we go. She came around to the other side. That is the correct position. Very good. And we'll grab this last one over here, which seems to have fallen down here. And we're just kind of seeing if we can grab it through the metal. Just trying to... It's called clipping. And sometimes you can grab it through things. Oh, wait a minute. Ah, there you are. Found you. A little bit of a scavenger hunt here, huh? All right, there's our last clip. Let's make sure, did we connect these all correctly? Looks correct to me, so we are good to go. All right, so the things left to connect then are the shaker here. We've got the shaker. We've got the 2 sluice boxes, or I guess sluice ramps, or sluice, I guess is the technical term, a fuel tanker, and also the power plant to move, as well as some of our other heavy equipment. We got to get that all fueled up, folks. So I will see you all tomorrow for the completion of the big old dig, and by tomorrow I do mean that you know, it's going to be daytime. Video could take a day to go up. So if you like this one, go ahead and hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new around these parts. I can't wait to play more. Share this video with a friend and tell them, hey, get this game. It's super cool, because I hope, I don't know, but if it comes out with multiplayer, it is on sale now, so maybe you can convince a friend to get it and join you a little bit later. That is my time for today. You all have a good day, and I will see you all very soon. Goodbye, and see you tomorrow morning.